days away. Take the win. I thought there were some really good moments. There were some moments that make you kind of scratch your head as to how did that happen or what kind of decision was it. When you don't have your A game, we didn't today. We were good, and you still find a way to win, not super comfortably, but never lost the lead. Well, maybe they did take the lead at one point. You feel good about just figuring out a way to correct the mistakes, and we did some good things. 21 assists on 28 field goals. Continue to be pleased with the way our offense is progressing. Don't like the turnovers, especially the careless ones, which most of them were today. But happy to get these guys out of here, heading home for Christmas for a few days on a win, and looking forward to them getting back here in a few days to start working on the rest of the year.
You mentioned the turnovers, 2 out of 5, but you had 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals. What do you think of his do-it-all performance?
Yeah, kind of was a microcosm of our team. We get up 24-11, and then we finish the half down. It's a 2-point game at halftime, right? So we prepared well enough to understand what the game plan needed to be and how we were going to win. We didn't play with the consistent focus to take that 24-11 to maybe make it a 15 or 18 point lead at halftime and give yourself a chance to maybe win a little bit more comfortably. I think Q's 7 assists, good plays, 5 turnovers, similar, right? We had a lot of that. We rebounded the ball pretty well on defense. We didn't really rebound the ball well on the offensive end. Thought Javon was good. I didn't think he had the presence that I've seen him have. He makes some decisions that he just normally hasn't made up to this point. So I think the break is coming at a pretty good time for everybody. A chance to kind of recharge the battery, reset the focus, and understand that we got a big time, 3-month grind ahead of us.
When Bryce gets going like that early, is it just kind of let him take care of things, or how do you kind of handle that whenever he starts 3-3?
Yeah, I told him I wasn't taking him out until he told me he needed a break, and I think he stood and stayed in there as long as any of our starters. And we need him. We talked about the last few weeks. He wasn't playing as well to start the year, but for us to maximize who we can be, Bryce Thompson's got to be a big part of it. It doesn't mean he's got to score 19 every game, but his presence has to be felt on the court. And when shots do go in, it makes that even more evident.
Bryce talked about, everyone have been pretty much going full-on basketball mode since the summer. What are you looking forward to this team kind of doing or over a break?
I hope they get some rest. They need it. And like I said, it's Big 12's as good as it's ever been. We know that's coming down the road. We got a couple non-conference games before that starts, so we need to be as ready, fresh, and physically ready to go as possible. So a few days off this time of year is always good, but we need to get back here understanding that the work is really just about to begin.
It seemed like Connor's most meaningful minutes in a while. Kind of what led to that?
He's just getting better in practice. He's showing more confidence in what we're doing. He's getting better defensively. That's where I think his biggest area of growth has been. His feel for how to space the floor, when to cut, and be ready to shoot offensively was always there. But I think his understanding of, I told him, teams are going to look out there and think they can attack you. It may be unfair or prejudice, whatever, but that's just the reality of basketball. So deal with it. You're a good enough defender. Learn how to be in the right positions, and he's embraced that over the last few weeks. He's had a really good attitude about it, and I'm really proud that he's impacted our game. Obviously, he was playing behind some older guys early, and I think he's worked his way up the depth chart some.
Justin, it seemed like had a good 5-minute stretch there, kind of stabilized you guys were in the first half. Just wondered what you see in that stretch for him.
Yeah, we, at some parts of the game, to be honest, just searching. This is a hard game. I don't know how many times you've seen these games, and I'm looking up at the scores last night and see Cal State North was up double digits on UCLA the whole game. See Vanderbilt lose, see Notre Dame lose by 20 at home. Because the kids, it's normal. They know they're going home, right? And they think they can get home before the game is over. Somehow. I told them for 3 days, so we got to play the game. We got to finish the game. And so Justin gave us a spark there, and I knew he'd be ready because he hasn't had the opportunity. But we needed him. We needed those minutes from him. I thought our other bigs weren't very good, in all honesty. That big guy kicked our butts, all of our guys. BG, Mike Enze, none of them were able to have much of an impact on the game. And And so Justin gives us a different look as a 5, and I thought he gave us some good minutes. He obviously made a shot, but I thought he played with some force defensively also.
Jerry's had a good night. His last 3, you literally shoved him into the play. Was he lost? What was
No. So what happened was, we run this action where he's supposed to be where I shoved him to. But with the time of score, I couldn't send him there because otherwise he would have probably been in the lane for too long. So I told him to come out, and then when I was ready for him to go, I needed him to go like with a little more urgency than I felt like he was going. And just so happened he got the shot where he wanted to get it.
All right. Mike, you've lost some close ones throughout the season. Most of your wins have been by double digits. Like you said, maybe not your best performance today, but for this team to kind of prove they can win those closer games, what'd you kind of learn there?
Oh no, that's huge. I mean, obviously everybody. I mean, we like to win all the games by 20 and be comfortable and put Carson and Weston in there with 3 minutes to go and have a good time. We just know that's not the reality. And for the most part, we know that when league play comes, that's what we're going to be facing. It's going to be a 2-possession game with 4 minutes to go, and who can execute, be tougher, have more connectivity on both ends of the court are going to have success. So we need to see ourselves have some success in these type of situations so that we can show these young guys on film who haven't been through this. I mean, they're about to go through the hardest 2.5 months of basketball that they can't even imagine it right now, And what we told them when we went to Southern Illinois, it's a small scale, right, of what you're going to see in Ames and Lubbock. When we played Creighton here, it's like a Big 12 game. So we try to give them some of that exposure to what that looks like. But you can't learn something until you go through it. And going through today will certainly help us moving forward.
2 of their guys combined for 40, no threes in that. What were those 2 doing so well in the pick and roll match?
So our game plan initially was to double it, which is what we've done the last 2 games. And I told our guys, I think I told you guys, other teams watch film too. They're going to figure out a counter to what you do differently. And we had to adjust, and we started playing more in drop coverage, which then forces you to bring a 3rd defender into the action. And so they really kept us off balance. They got a good team. I really respect what Dwight's doing there. The players fit the roles that they play within that system really, really well. So I just think that they made good reads out of them. They were able to get downhill and shoot the little floater, which is a pretty low percentage shot by all analytical data. But they made them at a pretty high rate today. And then, like I said, the big guy, he kind of had his way with us. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. So we got to watch the film. Maybe we needed to go switch a little earlier with it to see if maybe he could beat us off the dribble. But I was a little bit worried about his physicality on our guards. So they executed their game plan in some spots a little bit better than we were to execute our defensive game plan.
Overall, they made 4 shots than you guys, but obviously you guys had the 3 going today. Is it unique for you, given what you've had in the past, that you're in this aspect where you're the team that's pushing the tip on the 3-pointer?
No, I mean, I think it's evolution a little bit. We talked about that, having to adjust. I've always been pretty defensive minded and grind and be athletic and be able to get downhill and make plays. And the game just is telling you you can't defy what's happening. You got to evolve with the game. We have. This may be our 4th or 5th game of double-digit threes, and I think on my radio show, Dave reminded me that we only had 4 or 5 of them all year last year. So, not saying I told you so, but we were intentional going into the offseason when you guys asked me last year, shooting and playmaking, and so cutting down on turnovers, which we've been better at, not great, and being able to shoot more effectively from outside has been an intentional part of our approach to this team. And it's bearing itself out that we have to play that way. I also don't know if the last time we shot perfect from the free throw line, but there were so few free throws that both teams shot perfect from the free throw line, and so I don't know what to make of that either.
Be a fun game note coming.
Kind of random.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Christmas, yeah.
Merry Christmas.